Hi, I'm Michaela Weaver and I'm shooting this short video for you on reasons to stay sober and be sober today and also tomorrow and the day after, but specifically today. So if you're struggling with your motivation right now, maybe it's wobbling a bit and you're not sure if you've made the right decision and if you can keep going, then here are some reasons to be sober today. Think about your own, add to them, maybe write down the ones I'm going through with you now and just embellish them. One of the really important things to understand about making change and sustaining that change is the more real and larger and robust your vision and image is of you in that future, the much more likely you are to become that person of the future, the much more likely you are to achieve your goals. It's true of all goals. If we just say, oh, I want to stop drinking, that's a great goal. It really, really is. And when I've stopped drinking, I will be this. It will be like that. I will be doing all of these things. And the more you start to imagine that set of sort of circumstances and parameters around your sobriety, then the much more likely you are to achieve that. And the reason for that is, and it's psychology. I know I talk about psychology a lot, and that is because the brain cannot distinguish between something that's imagined and something that's a memory. True. And that's why you may have sort of heard or come across the concept about visioning. And if we vision our goals, we're much more likely to achieve them. And that is because our brains can't distinguish between the two. So work really, really hard on building up that image of you. Maybe you've stopped drinking already and you're realizing some of these benefits. But we all every now and again waver, even if it's just for a fraction of a second. So having a really, really robust vision for you and your sobriety for today, tomorrow and the future is really, really beneficial. So what reasons not to drink today? So have that vision. It's really, really important. Reason number one, you made the decision to stop drinking and to address this problem for a very, very real set of reasons. You would not be watching this. You would not be thinking about this. You would not be on the sobriety journey if you hadn't come to a point in your life, for whatever reason, where you said, this is enough. This has to stop. And one of the things I really want to get across to you is that the reasoning behind you putting that stake in the sand, the reasoning behind you making that decision never, never, never changes. That never changes. Sometimes what happens is a couple of weeks down the line, maybe we've been sober a day or two, or a week or two, or a month or two, we kind of diminish those reasons. We think, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that bad, or maybe I didn't really mean it, or no. If you want to succeed at this, you can never, ever doubt that you were absolutely right when you made that decision in the first place. Absolutely 100% right. Because that was the part of you speaking from your conscious mind, which is your kind of intellectual decision-making mind, without any other influences. You made the decision based on that. It could have been one incident that happened. Okay, so it was one incident that was bad enough for you to say, I have to do this. That incident still happened, and it could happen again. And all of the other reasons as well. So know that the reason that you went, that's enough, never, never changes. Never, never changes. So reasons to be sober. I've just given you a few other things around that today. One, your authenticity. Nobody, when they drinks, is authentic. Alcohol changes the way we behave. It changes the way we think. It changes everything about what we are. We don't hear as well, we don't see as well, we don't think as well, we just don't function. We can't be relied upon by ourselves or by other people. So authenticity is really, really key to our life values as an individual, the way we feel about ourselves, and the way we feel about ourselves generates out to all of the people around us as well. And everything that we do, it's like a knock-on effect. All of this is that, the way we think in this moment affects what we do in the next moment, and it affects how we behave towards somebody else, whether physically or online, whatever, however we're communicating with people right now. So authenticity is what you will get. And just think about that. What does it mean for you? I always encourage you, hear what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying in these videos and what you read in my blog, and then spend a few minutes just thinking about what that means to you personally in your life. So think about that thing of authenticity. What actually is that? Maybe you're a professional and you have, a serious job and some really important things that you do on a day-to-day basis. How does drinking and not being sober relate to that? And similarly, sobriety and your authenticity, how do those things match up? Maybe they're more in alignment and more along the lines of who you really are and who you want to be. So absolutely brilliant for authenticity. In fact, you cannot be authentic when you're drinking. So sobriety and authenticity go hand in hand, walking in the park, my friend, absolutely together. It's very subtle and insidious, and I'm talking personally now as well, from my own personal experience. It's a subtle and insidious depletion of confidence that alcohol actually inflicts on us. We maybe even don't notice it because if you're like me and like everybody, we're confident in some areas of our life and in other areas we're not so confident. That's normally the case. Maybe you're really, really good at, I don't know, I'm thinking off the top of my head, crochet. A friend of mine crochets. Or you're really good at work, or you're really good as a cook, or you're really happy socially, being out and about and bubbly. And then maybe you're not so good in other areas. So confidence does tend to vary, day by day, and also depending on different aspects of our lives. We're normally more confident in others, but alcohol really does sort of rob us of our confidence and our power, because it's kind of along the lines of authenticity. We kind of don't feel that we can trust ourselves. And that really does eat away at our confidence. When we're continuously making ourselves promises about not drinking and then finding ourselves drinking, then that really does impact on our confidence. So waking up tomorrow morning sober will just give you so much confidence, because you know you can do something that you really want to do. B, you'll start trusting and believing in yourself so much more. So even if you are 3 months down the line and you've kind of forgotten what it felt like to lose that part of yourself and that confidence with alcohol, start being really, really grateful for having it now, and do that every single day. Every day, bring gratitude into your life about where you are now. Even if you've been trying to stop drinking for a while and maybe you've had a slip up, then be grateful for what you achieved then and what you're going to achieve next. Don't beat yourself up about the odd little problem, hiccup in the middle. Now, if you're going through the Discover Sober program, if you've been working with me on a one-to-one basis, then some of what I'm talking about is relevant. Some of it is slightly different as well. But I think we can all say that the elements of sobriety and the benefits are there for all of us to enjoy and be grateful for as well. So we've talked about authenticity. We've talked about confidence. Two other really important things that, for me anyway, in terms of sobriety. One is the mornings. I remember that when I was a youngster, I was a morning person. And I kind of lost that for about 30 years. I get up in the mornings, yeah, obviously, but I didn't really love the mornings in the way I do now, where I just wake up and I just feel so great and light and just throw myself into whatever it is I do. For me, I get up, have a cup of tea, a glass of water. I normally do half an hour yoga, and then I might go for a walk or a bit of a run. It's not much of a run really, it's more of a slow jog, but I'll do that kind of thing. And I love my mornings, and whereas I used to be grouchy and need a coffee before I could function, I'm now up and living my life from the minute my feet hit the ground, which is great. So mornings are a huge benefit of sobriety. And remember as well that our life is a 24-hour process where we want to get really great sleep, and sobriety means that we sleep so much better as well. Alcohol robs us of sleep. In other videos I talk about how that works, how that actually it disrupts our sleep. I also talk about I have a video on alcohol and immunity and the immune system, how it damages that. So there's so many benefits. There really are no benefits to drinking alcohol at all. And the ones that we may cling on to, I don't personally, but the ones that you might cling on to are based on history and misinformation. And so again, on the Discover Sober program, we go through all of that misinformation to turn those beliefs full circle. But if you're working through this on your own, then know that any perceived benefits that you might be hanging on to are based on outdated information. If you've got a record, DVD, track playing somewhere in the background that's out of date, it's not relevant anymore. It's last year's news. And so sleep is affected, and sleep is so much better. Your immune system's going to be so much more happy, and you're going to be so much more healthy. You will look better and you will feel better. So if that's not a really good and a good enough set of reasons to be sober today, just think of the pride that you will have in yourself and the respect. So fast forward to tomorrow morning. How do you want to be feeling about yourself and your life? And even if you may find yourself in a time of challenge and uncertainty and confusion, then even more reason to wake up being authentically you, clear-headed, able to cope so much more effectively with what's going on in your life. One final and very, very important reason and benefit of being sober today is that you will feel such a wonderful feeling of calm, because alcohol causes stress. And I know every single person that I work with says that one of the reasons, in fact the main reason that they drink, is to help them cope with stress. And the irony of it is that alcohol does the opposite. It actually causes a lot of the stress that we seek as drinkers to remove. It actually causes it. And so drinking is really just like turning off a really, really annoying car alarm. What we're buying is relief for a while, because the minute that car alarm is turned off, in the case of having a drink, all you're doing is turning it back on again a couple of hours later, much louder and for longer. So the calm that comes with just having that car alarm completely disappearing out of your life is absolutely fantastic. So I hope that's been useful, and you've got some really good ideas, and add it to it yourself, add your own on reasons to be sober today, this weekend, this week, this month, and this year. You take care. You're doing brilliantly. Well done for being here. Take care.